Hello and welcome to another Bedrock Edition tutorial with me, Jasno, and today we'll be working on one of my favorite things to build, which is a zombie spawner experience farm and mini base. This is what I like to do when I start off in a new world usually, is find myself a spawner such as this and create a little base to get experience by killing them, and the trader halls and the enchantment tables, the farms, and you can have all these things in here, even a little fishing hole that goes all the way up to the sky to get your best rates, and the enchantment books, but more importantly the zombie spawner. So let's get right into what we need for this build. You actually don't need too much. You will be getting a lot of blocks from just destroying the area around the spawner and clearing that out, so you'll have a lot of extra blocks for that. But you also are going to need 2 slabs, a quartz stairs, well actually it's any stairs, any material basically, 1 hopper, 2 chests, soul sand, a stack of kelp. You probably won't need the whole stack, but it never hurts to have it, 5 signs, water buckets. You need to have at least a water source or 2 water buckets to create an infinite water source, and an optional thing would be 15 ice. It can be packed ice, it can be regular ice. It should be fine because there's going to be no torches around it. So those are the materials that you need to get this built, and the rest of it is basically optional things which we can go over on another tutorial at a later date. So let's get into the build, and first off, how to find a zombie spawner or a spawner in general. So to start my tutorial, I would like to say that I am going to be going into a little bit more of details about the whys we do things. So why do I dig out certain areas? Why do you go a certain distance away? Things like that. I started making these videos because I like to know why things occur, not just, hey, dig this hole, put this block there, turn this, turn that, do this, and don't explain why things work the way they do. So my tutorial is going to have a little more details. Hopefully it'll be clear, and then from there hopefully you can use this in your own worlds to your advantage. But let's get started. So first thing first, how do you find a zombie spawner? One of the things I would suggest the most is just to find a cave system. Anywhere your spawn point in this random creative world. I got a bamboo farm, or bamboo jungle I should say, but find a cave system in the world, and then explore it. Now, you and your best friends, normally I would say turn the volume down, but if you turn your sound up, you will start to hear, hopefully when you get close to a zombie spawner or a skeleton spawner, whatever it may be, you will hear lots of sounds. Like you normally hear, of course, the mobs spawning, things like that. But when you start to hear a lot of mobs in one area, generally that means that a spawner has started to spit out mobs. So if that's the case, use your volume to kind of do a surround sound thing and find out where they are coming from and dig your way down. Usually you can find them pretty close to the surface like this one is, and it won't actually be too difficult to find as long as you look for cobblestone. So if you look for the cobblestone or mossy cobblestone bearings, if you're digging up or around or down, then that means you've probably found a spawner, because these doesn't naturally spawn in the world unless it's around the spawning system. So I've already come to this one. Once you find it, you definitely want to put some torches on it. You don't want to accidentally break it, because then it will be gone forever. But once you put at least 2 torches on it, it should stop spawning anything. If you take the torches away, they will definitely come back. So you want to make sure that you have this 2 torches on it so that they don't spawn. I do have night vision on, so you can see everything a little bit clearer, but you do want to light up the area as well around you. You don't want to have a creeper come behind you as you're working on the spawner and blow it up, and then therefore it will be gone forever. So unless you're in creative and you can make a new one, you want to make sure you light everything up. And I also would suggest even going so far as blocking the entire area off where you like to build. Wherever you're going to have your spawner coming in at, you want to block it off so that nothing can get to you. This is my personal preference, but I do highly suggest it. You don't have to worry about anything coming in and blowing you up, or witches coming in and throwing potions through your holes in the wall. Because if you block that off, you will be good to go and work on this as best you can. Now, you will have this in a cave system typically, so you're going to have an open area, and sometimes it can be deeper. But either way, once you have all that blocked off and you're ready to go, then you can start digging out this area, and I'll go over that next. So, another explanation as well. So the spawner itself, you have skeletons, spiders, cave spiders, zombies, etc., in these things, as they go and you get activated, you'll see the little flame particles is the meaning that they're on. Once the creature inside, whatever it may be, starts to spin faster and faster, when it's spinning really fast, that means it's about to spawn. So that's how you know that the spawner is on, is by the flame particles, and that'll be useful later. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. But what you want to do is, of course, there'll be chests that you can loot. Sometimes you get some pretty good things in there. Golden apples, discs, you can get armor or something, things like that. But we'll get rid of those for now because they're going to be in the way. And then you want to come to the spawner and start digging out the walls in a 4x4 or 4 blocks away, essentially. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to have that cleared out all the way to there. And then, of course, on every side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 4. And then, not 4 again. 4 away from every side. And, of course, you want to do it on all 4 sides. Now, like I said before, if you're in a cave system, which you will be, you're going to have open areas. So you're going to have to actually block off some areas. And, again, just making sure you're 4 blocks away. And the goal for this is to get everything in a cube around it opened up. So the spawning areas can be activated to the best that you can spawn these from. That was a mouthful. So I will clear this out and then come back, and then I will further explain the spawning radius of the spawners. Okay, so after blocking the walls off and opening it up, you should have something similar to this. It should be, like I said, 4 wide going off of every side. So now we have a 9x9 space all around the spawner, and what this is going to do is allow the spawner to spawn at the best rates. So with a spawner like this, for the zombie or skeleton spawners, you actually have to have a 9x9 area around it and also 2 blocks high. So your spawner usually is going to have at least a 3-high roof on it or ceiling. You can always have it 2 high as well, but you have to have it at least 2 high so that they have room to spawn, because it can spawn in those areas as well. Now what you want to do on top of this is put either a slab on top or just go ahead and put a column all the way to the roof to make sure that nothing gets stuck and spawns on top of the spawner. We don't want anything standing up there, because then it will make less things spawn as it cycles. So we want to make these things spawn and then drop down and be pushed away as fast as possible away from the spawner so that it can reset itself and spawn again. If you want to look up the exact timing and all of that, it is on the Minecraft wiki. Is where I'm getting most of this information. But generally speaking, it can spawn every 30 seconds or shorter than that. It just depends. It's kind of a random thing. And so this is your starting area. Now from here, you do want to dig down 4 spots below it, at least 4. Sometimes I do 5 just to make it a little bit easier to deal with. It depends on how much space you have around you. But before we do that, I do actually want to start work on the actual kill chamber for where the zombies are going to go. So pick a wall. It doesn't matter which one you want to do unless you have a preference as far as your direction to your base or anything like that. But you want to go from here and go out in that direction. So on the floor next to your spawner, you want to go 11 blocks out in whatever direction. So in the center from whatever way you want to go. I'm going to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, of course. And then you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You turn left or right, really it doesn't matter, we're in a sphere around it, but I'm going to go left, and you go 11 more blocks this direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course. If you have a cave system, like I said, you will have spots around you. So let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, once you go 11 still facing in the same direction, you want to break out the block in front of you, and then you want to put down your first hopper. So put the hopper onto that block, and then that will actually be the spot where your zombies will fall and eventually die. You can also break out that, and you can clear out an area around here as well to give yourself more space to work with. But this is going to be the farthest spot the zombies can fall, where you are standing on this side, and it will still trigger the spawner in that direction. So they are still spawning as I speak, or would be, if it was in that area, and then you can build up from there, but we'll come back to that. So that is going to be your kill chamber, and then again you can dig that out later. Come back to your main spawning area now, and you want to dig this area down away from the spawner. So we're going to go 4 down and in all directions to the walls you've already created. So the space you've already created, you're going to go 4 away just like that. So I'm going to clear this out, and then we'll come back and continue from there. Okay, so once you've cleared out the bottom underneath the spawner, it should look something like this. Now you can decorate this if you want and make it all the same wall, but you're never going to really see the inside of this. I know in my other example I had glass walls, but I do not recommend glass walls because that was just so you could see inside. But there is light level that you need to have basically no light in this to make the spawns the most efficient. So you want to close all this off eventually and have no light in here whatsoever, so we'll take those torches out and escape later on. So what you can do also, I suggest get your ladders out and build up into your kill chamber, and also dig all the way up to the surface and put your ladders up that way too, so you have a way to get in and out of the spawner easily, and then keep all your walls blocked off in the other directions. And then also, I do have the night vision on here, so you want to make sure you are lighting this whole area up as you dig. You don't want to have anything spawning behind you as you're working in other areas. With the new spawning radius from 1.16, you do have a pretty good chance that nothing's going to spawn, but you know, better safe than sorry. Old habits die hard. Light up your area as you go so that you don't have anything blowing up all your hard work. So once you have all this settled, you want to face your kill chamber, which is over there for us, and you want to go to the wall closest to it, but also not parallel, even, I guess, with this. So the direction you're facing is that way. You come to the side and you want to dig out a trench all the way across. Now for the spot farthest away from your kill chamber, you're going to leave that at one down, but then you want to come down 2 everywhere else. And then from this spot here, you can actually dig out 3 that way for now. And then this is going to be where our water source is. This water is going to push everything towards there. We're going to have water sources against that wall. It's going to push everything this way. So you don't have to worry about which flow, which direction. The reason why I do it this way is because once you do all the water on this wall, you don't have to have signs. It will go exactly to the edge because it is 8 blocks wide, because we have a 9x9 chamber. And this will push everything to here, and then you can have your other water source here, and it will come this way and push them all down to here. Now that's not quite far enough for our needs. We need to get them away from here as far as possible. So you can come over here and actually block off or knock off this block here, and then go down 1 more into this area. Now this will be flowing into where we need to go, and we'll put a sign there eventually. I do not suggest putting water sources first. I was just doing this to show you how it works. Now another thing about the water is if you have access to ice blocks, this is when you could use them and put ice down here, and so that once they get into the trough, they are pushed a little bit easier that way. It's more important to be at the end there, but you do want to have that ice there if you can, just to make it a little bit faster, although it is not necessary. Alright, so moving on, one more thing we do want to make sure you have is your water sources, but you don't have to get too many buckets. You can always make an infinite water source like this. Put one in the corner there, one in the corner there, and now these blocks will be ready to go. Oh, sorry, not blocks. Water will be ready to be picked up infinitely to go and fill all these areas in. So you can have that even with your water flowing, it doesn't matter. And then that means you can get water whenever you need it. When you come down to here now, we'll come back to this point here, and so you should be towards the end. You have the 3, and we want to go forward from here another 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So your total distance, I'm sorry, not 7. You want to go 6 more spots, or 3 more spots anyways. You want to make sure that this coordinate here matches what you have. Oh my goodness. Matches what you have on this one. So whatever plane you're in here, so we're at 397 here, that's where we want to be when we go to down here. So wherever you are over there in your world, whatever coordinates you have, you want to make sure that it matches, because we want to bring the zombies to this point and then push them that way. So from here, the water will flow, and this is when you're going to need your signs. So I'll just grab those real quick. Okay. Once you've got your signs, and I also picked up some ice, you can, this is another spot you can put ice down. This is actually probably the most important spot. You put the ice down here, so that when the zombies hit this spot, they keep sliding a little bit more. But you want to put, not in the last spot, not the one even with the kill spot. You want to put 5 signs going up the wall. So dig out 2 more spots. And put the 5 signs there, and then 1 more, and then get your stair out. Face back towards the spawner, and put a staircase there. So that will lead the zombies this way in this direction. Okay, so once you have your signs placed and your ice down, if you have it, and your stair facing this direction, write down your coordinates from this final spot here. You're going to need that for later just to double check. And we're going to go back up to our hopper. Once you get to the hopper, you want to dig above it so we can dig out some spaces, and also place a block down so we can get on top of it. Now, from your hopper, facing back towards your ladders, we want to dig up 24 blocks higher. So including this block here, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go up 24. So 24 high. You want to make sure you're facing towards the ladder system, back towards your kill chamber. At the top, you want to dig 3 blocks down or in front of you, and that puts you at 75. For me, it's 75. So if I go down, I should be 21 spaces falling. So when the zombies fall down 21, they should be at very low health but not dead. And then you can just dig out 8 blocks more this way. Okay, and once you've dug 8 blocks forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you want to dig straight down from here until you get to your spot by your ice. So that's where your soul sand is going to go. So I'm going to dig that down there, and then I will show you how to make the bubble column. And then you can dig straight down, and you should come to your hallway that you have with the ladders. See that, and the hopper, and then just keep going down until you get all the way back to your floor here with the ice. And then this is where your soul sand is going to go, but not yet. First off, we need to go back up here and dig out some space. So that is going to be easier. What are you doing there? So that's going to be easier to put the water columns in, because you're going to want a water source all the way up to the top there. So all this has to be enclosed. So I'm going to dig this out some, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've dug this out. You can expand this out later as well, but you just want to make sure that every space above, I'm sorry, not above, around this hole is going to be closed in, because that's where your water is going to go. So you want to have all that closed in, and you want to have access to this, obviously. So we need to dig this out to go around here. Once you've got that done, you can go back up to the top. However you can get up here, if you have to use ladders, I mean, whatever way in survival you can. But above the spot where the soul sand is going to go, so not where the hopper is, you want to put a water source, your bucket of water, one above the floor. So not there, I'm going to put it here, so that it flows down and also flows this way. As you can see, it pushes it back to 8. 8 spots further, just like downstairs in the spawn room, and the zombies will fall down into there, and they should, if this is measured properly, fall down to where they only have 1 or 2 hits left. So they fall down with the water source. Sometimes it takes more than 1 to push them, and they go down and they do not die, but they should be 1 or 2 hits away from death. So now we can get the experience from them, and that's what we want. Once you've got your water source here, you want to come down all the way to this floor here and get out your kelp. and start at the bottom and just work your way all the way up to the top to make all of these a water source. And you just want to go all the way to the top. Once you get there, come back down and break it. Once it's broken, you can put your soul sand at the bottom there. Just break that block, add soul sand, and that should create bubbles all the way to the top. So, make sure I'm not flying. Now you have a bubble column that should go all the way up. And then as the zombies get pushed up, they get pushed this way. You have 3 high so they have room to move, and they fall down to here. So you can actually go ahead and block this part here. You want to put a slab so that when they fall, you can hit them there, so you can get rid of this block too. So they'll fall there and you can just kill them as they drop, and the little ones can't get out, the baby zombies, and you can get the experience there. But we have one more thing we need to do to the water column. So if you come back down to the water column, try not to get sucked in. If you go up to your sign, your top sign, and go across, you want to break a hole in the wall. Of course it's gravel. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. So as I was saying, take 2. You want to go across from your sign, your tallest sign, and just break that there. So what this does is it puts a flow away from there, so once the zombies get sucked in, they will get pulled in towards the hole so that they don't get stuck as easily right here. So it just helps the flow to get them up and out and through the water system a little bit faster. Now from your bubble column, we've got the hole pulling the flow that way. You want to come back and finally install your water sources. Remember, I took them out earlier just so they wouldn't get in the way, but you can have your infinite water source here like this, and just make your infinite water source there. And then you want to come in and fill in the sides and also place one water source here. So we place that there. It should flow all the way to the end. As you can see, the sign will stop it. They hit the ice and they keep sliding, and it should pull them up, which also pulls them that way. So water source in the front, water source in the corner there. And then also water sources along the opposite wall. So just on the wall, you don't have to go anywhere else. And once that's done, you can get rid of your water source. This is easy. You want to just basically put blocks over the water so it doesn't mess up your water flow. Break all your blocks. Water should come nice and easy to the end. And then now comes part of the tricky parts. The tricky parts are coming. You want to get rid of all of your light sources in this room. And I will try to simulate survival. So as you're floating along, you want to have all your light sources gone. Get everything out except for the ones on the spawner itself. And then you want to break those as well, but of course zombies will start spawning. And you want to just get out as quickly as possible, which is what the ladders are for. And once you get back up, you actually can just break all the ladders away. And now the water flow should sink there. And then you can get rid of this one and block this back in. Leave it there for easy access. And now, as we get stuck on the ladder, you come back this way and they should be floating down to here. So once you have enough of them spawning, they'll start pushing each other through and they should fall into here. You can hear them coming out now. As you can see, I have cleaned it up a little bit and the zombies have started to fall in, and you can see behind me right there a zombie villager, which is what we're looking for to get those trades for the trader hall. Excuse me. So this is flowing well. I'll put a couple chests in there just to collect the loot when you kill them. And so at this point, you just would come in and take them out. I mean, even with just my fist, I can punch them and kill them, and you can see the experience falling. If I was in survival, I'd be getting all of that. And then in this chest, not the egg, you wouldn't get that. But you would get all that loot, and they would continue to fall. So this is just, as long as you're standing in this area, and not over there. They will continually spawn. You can expand this area out here and dig around your little spawn chamber and make a base like I had in the beginning. So that is it for the tutorial today. If you like the tutorial, if it helped you out, then please consider liking. And also, if you really liked it, if you want to see more, consider subscribing, and also stick tuned to my channel for other tutorials. So I appreciate it. Once again, guys, thank you for joining me. My name is Jasno, and I will catch you on the next tutorial. Bye-bye.